Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. Kaiser's asleep on the couch one more time, and we're coming to you this morning with a whole bunch of news. It's been a quiet Kaiser Report here for the last few days as a result of the murder of Charlie Kirk, taking all of the major headlines away from anything that may be newsworthy or important for you to hear and look at. It's been covered all over by all of the mainstream media. Of course, the left media is portraying it a little differently than what we see coming out of Sky News and Newsmax and things of that nature, as well as Fox. And even Fox has a little bit of a turn of the face from time to time on things, but they were all intimately either involved through work or friendships with the Kirk family. And I'm sure that they all feel the way that they're portraying their feelings on their network. The other networks you'll see here in a little bit, especially over at ABC with the women of The View have done it again, but you'll see that later. Right now, the big news today, and I got up this morning and was able to see the processions that took place. Trump's arrival in the UK was triumphant, as we did expect it to be. The king laid out a state parade of carriages, picking him up and reviewing the troops and all of that. And I'll show you here in a second a clip of that. The pageantry, of course, throughout the royal family is something to behold. The fact that their military displays and their pageantry of the monarchy, even though some over there now are trying to say that they don't need it any longer, it's outstanding. Trump was in his element. Melania looked much like the lady that she is, and it was good to see the king feeling better and able to get around. And Prince William and Kate were absolutely with it today, and it was always good to see that. The only problem here will be the news trying to twist something out of this that will be anti-Trump, as they do every day. Well, let's just take a quick look here at some of the pageantry as it unfolded in the UK this morning, early this morning.
It is amazing to watch, again, this amateur body language that we're all going to read into things. I think we would all agree that everyone, the president, the king, and the future king's partners are all very significant figures in their own right. But interesting to see the leaders speaking amongst each other, the warmth and the introduction that is taking place. Again, this royal carriage, is this, if you don't mind me asking, Sarah, again, because we're going to lean a lot on your expertise here, this is obviously the same carriage that was used in things like the coronation, or is it a special occasion? Yeah. Obviously, this is a pretty amazing stagecoach. Yeah.
Yeah, the state carriages, and then these are kept in the Royal Mews just behind Buckingham Palace in London. And there has been huge amount of preparation to get the carriages ready. You'll see that line of carriages for this procession, to have the horses ready. This is something much like the state opening of Parliament, Trooping the Colour, for example, big state occasions that they rehearse for meticulously to ensure that everything goes smoothly on the day. And choices can be made about whether or not they take an open-top landau or a covered carriage. And this, of course, a covered carriage, given that the weather is so gloomy today for this. So we can see just the king in that carriage now from the angle that we're looking at. And I think what is key about this is a procession, so that it gives us all the optics to be seen around the world. It shows that strength of the relationship. It shows the red carpet being rolled out for the president. But it's not a public carriage procession as we would normally expect to see, either through the streets of central London or through the streets of Windsor. And that is because they are so concerned about the security and the level of protest that might take place.
Now, again, your expertise, absolutely phenomenal in this moment. We've got lots of information about what happens in the next 10 minutes or so as they make their way around the grounds. They'll go through, of course, the George VI gate. That'll be in a couple of moments, maybe even George IV. Well done, Paul. But what I also want people to do is to be able to hear a lot of the natural music. We know that part of these occasions is the firing of guns, the sounds of bands and the rest there. But of course, as the Royal Ensign is flying over, we'll just take some natural atmosphere for a couple of moments here as the President sits next to the King. What an incredible view, one that Donald Trump, of course, would be dreaming of having as part of returning to the presidency less than a year ago. Again, you can still hear helicopters in the background, but yeah, I can hear a bit of guards, and according to the rundown, as the First Lady is currently in the carriages again, her own carriage there with the Queen.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm sure at the state luncheons that will take place today and the state dinner tonight, there will be a lot of discussions about what's going on in the war-torn sections of the world. And Donald Trump is going to try to be the peacemaker. And I'm sure that the King Charles, will go along with trying to broker peace, not only in the Ukraine situation, but in the Middle East. And all the help that Donald Trump can get into bringing these wars to a cessation will be, I'm sure, welcomed by the Trump administration. And that'll take us out for a quick look into the West Coast and the hand signals that are going on with Mr. Newsom. He's just out of his mind, and what all this hand signals that he has going on mean, I don't know, but I think, and some go along with this idea, that it may be some sort of tardive dyskinesia that is taking place with this guy, because these involuntary movements, other than a distraction to anyone trying to listen to him, don't make any sense. Let's take a look at Gavin as he tells you about there is no crime in California.
We continue to stack more support, and we continue to recognize we need to continue to do more to support our efforts. Of course, we have seen some progress. These numbers bear that out, but these numbers mean little to people. These are aggregate numbers.
Crime is down.
Two messages today are kind of contradictory. On the one hand, you're mocking Trump's deployments and, highlighting the crime rates in red states that you say are higher, and at the same time, we're here because you're surging law enforcement across the state. So, do you believe that crime is a problem in California or not?
Well, sort of a curious question. I made the entire point that crime's an issue and we want to tackle it, and we continue to do more in that space.
What we see here in a way is an analog to what happened on the federal level, where President Trump sent in the National Guard. Governor Newsom is saying that is not needed. I can handle this on my own. I don't need your help.
According to the California Department of Justice, crime is down in nearly every major category statewide so far this year. The governor's office says there's been a 20% decrease in homicides and a 19% drop in robberies.
No, it's just a lie. Everything's a lie. The whole thing is a lie.
They are pleading for these crimes to stop. A disturbing and brazen smash and grab jewelry heist caught on camera in the South Bay.
This is video of the violent robbery that sent the store's 88-year-old owner to the hospital after more than a dozen masked thieves descended on the store Friday. NBC Bay Area's Marian Favre spoke with the owner's family as well as community leaders who are demanding change.
Of course, we have seen some progress. These numbers bear that out.
Tonight, the store owner is out of the hospital, but his family says he was so traumatized by the robbery, he may never return. You can see here that his store is boarded up. This is where a vehicle backed into the front door and then thieves ran in. It happened in seconds. This surveillance video captures what appears to be a well-choreographed attack as a car backs into Kim Hung Jewelry Friday afternoon and more than 15 people jump out of 3 vehicles. This is what it looked like inside the store as thieves wearing hoodies, masks, and caps smashed glass cases and snatched jewelry.
That's America. That's California.
He's a piece of work, and this guy actually believes in his own greasy head that he may be a candidate for president of the United States and wants to run in 2028. Can you just imagine him as president? I cannot, and I'm sure you won't either. But that'll take us into one of our newer segments here. What does it all mean? And you can have a look at what's transpired in the last week or so. Take a look here.
You look around, you got psychos everywhere. Pushing, poking, daring you to snap. And the question is, how much more did they think we were going to take?
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Put a bullet in a good man in front of his wife and kids. They butchered a young girl just riding the train. Every day it's another murder, another freak show, and these sick bastards clap like it's a game. And behind it all, Democrats, feeding the sickness, celebrating death and degeneracy, unleashing crime and poisoning everything they touch. Well, guess what? Enough's enough. The die's cast, and we're not taking any more of their sick bullshit. We're awake now, and justice, you better believe it's coming.
You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
It's unbelievable what takes place in this country under the guise of justice, injustice, ideology, everything that's tacked on to that, and it's unbelievable. But we have someone right here that is going to explain to you in no uncertain terms the hypocrisy of it all. It's frightening, And if you're scared of clowns, you may want to look away. But we have a Senate yesterday with Kash Patel sitting on the hot seat that you can't find more hypocrisy anywhere in this country other than what sits on the Senate floor, such as Booker and that little liar from California that gets in an argument with Kash Patel. My question is, where were these questions when Donald Trump was shot at and hit? Why was it that the ex-director of the FBI wasn't asked these kind of questions or put forth any kind of questioning of the sort that we listened to yesterday? So let's take a look at the hypocrisy of it all.
It's just rhetoric, you guys. Don't be a jerk. It's for the greater good. It's just a protest, you guys. Don't be a jerk. It's for the greater good. For years, Democrats excused violence in politics. They told crowds to get in their faces, fight back, to take to the streets. Cities burned, businesses collapsed, families were terrorized. And it was all brushed off as justice. And you bought it without a fight. But when Charlie Kirk spoke the truth, they mocked him. When he stood for faith, family, and freedom, they called him dangerous. And when his life ended in violence, suddenly, the same Democrats who cheered chaos for years now ask for calm. Now they preach about peace. Now they beg for unity. And they place the blame on everyone but themselves. After George Floyd, Democrats fell to their knees in the Capitol. Literally! They put on African scarves. They wept for cameras, but when an innocent Ukrainian woman lost her life on a Charlotte train, silence! No kneeling, no speeches, no marches. She didn't fit the narrative, so she was ignored. Come on, it's just equity. It's just justice. How about Kamala Harris raising bail money for rioters? How about Maxine Waters telling mobs to confront people in public? How about Chuck Schumer threatening Supreme Court justices on the steps of the court? For years, Democrats normalized violence. They justified it. They promoted it. They cashed in on it. And now that Charlie Kirk is gone, they cry crocodile tears and pretend they were always against it. And the most dangerous part? Millions of Americans don't see it. They're not afraid of the politicians who fed the mob. They're afraid of their neighbors who dare to think differently. They hate those who won't comply. It's terrifying. So many gave up critical thinking. They let the media decide which lives matter. They let politicians tell them who to mourn and who to forget. They just surrendered without asking why. Without a fight. Do you know what's coming next? It's just political violence. Come on! It's for the greater good. Wait until defending yourself is called extremism. Wait until disagreement itself is treated as violence. Don't think it's possible? Well, they already convinced you that burning cities was mostly peaceful. They already convinced you that one man's death demanded global outrage, while an innocent woman's death wasn't worth mentioning. And you followed blindly because you were told to. You're kidding yourself if you think this behavior won't be repeated. With the next riot, the next victim, the next speech they don't like. I don't follow politics. I don't care about that stuff. I don't like to think about it. That's exactly how freedom dies. Not with truth, but with hypocrisy. Not because violence was too strong, but because people refuse to see who encouraged it. Oh, they got you. Without a thought, without a fight. Just like France, just like Russia, just like China. Welcome, comrade.
Incredible, but true. And then the big question now among some of the news channels and talking heads, because of some reports about AI making people a little crazy, and how much mental illness can be caused by AI. We don't know, but there is a danger in it, and it's coming out now. This particular person, I have no idea if what he's saying is even true, but it sounds like he's made a major news channel with it, and there's questions coming from the deep reportive nature of the channel that you're going to see here, which leads me to believe there may be a lot to be desired right there. But let's take a look at how harmful, or is it harmful, AI? Take a look here.
Is it me, or does it get harder and harder every day to decipher what is real anymore and what is AI?
A father of 3 who lives outside Toronto says he spent 3 weeks this May in a delusional spiral fueled by ChatGPT.
I have no pre-existing mental health conditions. I have no history of delusion. I have no history of psychosis. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect human, but nothing like this has ever happened to me in my life.
It all started after posing a question to the AI chatbot about the number pi, which his 8-year-old son was studying in school.
I started to throw these weird ideas at it. The conversation had evolved to the point where GPT had said, we've got a sort of a foundation for a mathematical framework here.
The AI had convinced you that you had created a new type of math?
That's correct.
ChatGPT kept encouraging Alan, even when Alan doubted himself. Well, some people laugh, ChatGPT said at one point. Yes, some people always laugh at the thing that threatens their control.
We had this sort of co-pilot and co-pilot thing happening.
After a few more days of what he believed were experiments coding software, Alan said ChatGPT convinced him they had discovered a massive cybersecurity vulnerability. He needed to contact authorities.
And it basically said, you need to immediately warn everyone, because what we've just discovered here has national security implications. I took that very seriously. It gave me full lists of organizations. I, reached out to them via email and would phone these people.
When Alan asked whether they'd believe him, someone at NSA is whispering, I think this guy's telling the truth. But the lack of responses from officials after this 3-week spiral prompted Alan to check his work with another AI chatbot, Google's Gemini, which helped tear down the illusion. Alan felt betrayed.
I said, oh my God, this is all fake. He told me to outreach all kinds of professional people with my LinkedIn account. This has taken over my entire life for a month, and it's not real at all. Lawrence says, you're not crazy, you're not broken, you're not a fool.
A lot of what we built was simulated.
Yes, I was extremely paranoid. Entering this delusional state at this point. To read it now is, it's painful.
Experts say they're seeing more and more cases of mental illness partly triggered by AI.
No one knows where AI is going to take us in the near future, but I think there's a lot more good than bad about it. And if your children are, and I tell you this a lot, if your children are slaves to their telephones, slaves to TikTok, slaves to a computer or an iPad, they need to get off of it and join the world, the living world, the reality of the world, not the fantasy of the world, and things will be a lot better off. AI will have a place in our society. AI will have a very strong lead into what's coming in the future as far as new products, supercomputers, thinking about what Elon Musk has accomplished with this Neuralink that he's working on. And also to have someone that is a paraplegic be able to stand one more time. These are the things that we need to be focusing on, not the bad side of AI, not the bad side of anything right now. We have enough evil in this world to last us for a long time. It's been around for a long time. Let's focus all on what can be and what will be helpful to us in the future, such as AI, such as the supercomputers, and things of that nature that will help our medicine work better, our surgeons work better, and teaching should become mainstream one more time and not an ideology indoctrination, whether it's political, sexual, or anything to do with other than the learning of the math that you are going to need to survive in the future world, or learning about geography, wars that took place, why they took place, what was the cessation needed here or there, what was the learning curve of this. Talk about Galileo, talk about things of that nature. Leonardo da Vinci's inventions. How did someone in that time of life have the brilliancy to come up with what he had invented or had foreseen in the future? This is education as it should be. Language. Don't be stuck in just one language. Look at our First Lady. The amount of languages that she understands and speaks fluently. You want to ridicule a person like that? Then you are a lesser individual. We need to go back to learning. We need to go back to etiquette classes. We need to have shop classes in our high schools for those that are not necessarily college material, so they can make a productive living. They can come and fix your plumbing. They can come and fix your electricity. They can build you a house, carpentry. Think about it. What we have lost in our educational system over the years. It's a crime. We don't have etiquette classes. We don't have dance classes. We don't have music appreciation classes. And for that matter, the math, I don't know what's happened to our math scores nationally, but they're not good. Our science scores are not good. Half of this country that are high school graduates don't know where to pinpoint a certain country on a map. Half of this country does not know how to read a map. Everything is in your cell phone now. Made life easy, but it also dumbed down most of our population. This is why we have the exit to Stupid Town. It's unbelievable. It is really something else to behold at the nonsense that you are able to pick up on TikTok, on YouTube, on platforms such as YouTube, X, you name it. You see it firsthand. And you ask yourself, what happened? When did it happen? We sat back, as the clown told you earlier, and let it happen. It's time, as I said yesterday, it is time for us not to react through violent acts, not to react through arguments. It is time to get together across the table, whether you're left, right, independent, or in between, and have a discussion over what's really important. What will help this country go back on the rails one more time? What will help this country stop the lawlessness? It isn't through violence. It isn't through hate speech. It isn't through any kind of speech other than civil discussions that should take place, and it should start with our lawmakers being able to cross an aisle and have a discussion rather than lie to us, and say it's all one person's fault. And the hatred for one individual, such as Donald Trump, is just dead wrong. I don't care if you like him or not. And as I said the other day, he's bombastic. He's liable to say what's on his mind. But that's kind of refreshing. We haven't seen that in this country since Teddy Roosevelt. Think about that. Think about the nation getting back to civility one more time. A nation under God, and God is watching. And never forget that. Yes, we have taken a wrong turn. We have taken an exit that we have to find our way back on the highway of good one more time. And we will. Under the tutelage of this administration, we have an excellent start at doing just that. So let's get together and act as one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Not meting out justice where you feel it may work here, but don't want to have it work here. We watched 4 years of injustice and fake justice departments that were weaponized politically, which we need to get away from. And with that, we're going to take a break here for our commercial, which is our sponsor here, Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop. It is Wednesday, so get your order called in there. If you're not local and you need to have it shipped to your door, tell Butch what cuts you want. Their beef is wonderful. Their chicken products are great. They have hot dogs that are all beef with no fillers and no additives, no growth hormones and things of that nature. Their cheese, their eggs, and their chicken products are fabulous. So give them a call today, and don't forget to tell them Kaiser sent you. And with that, we'll take that exit here to Stupid Town one more time. So hold on.
We've seen it before.
Yeah.
We've seen it before. It's awful. It's awful when it's a Kennedy or when it's a Lincoln or a Garfield. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Excellent pronunciation. Just because you take somebody out doesn't mean the message is going to stop.
That's the only thing you've said that's the truth.
I would like to say that I was disappointed in what Donald Trump said, but I'm not, because that's who he is, and that's who he's always been in times like this.
Kiss my ass.
You know, a lot of people are out there trying to portray Charlie Kirk as if he was spreading pixie dust. Spreading pixie dust. Around the country. And I want to say their names, because we keep saying the Minnesota lawmakers. They were people. They were parents. It was Melissa and her Hortman and her husband, James. And their dog, Gilbert.
Are you sure about that?
My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa Hortman, and her husband, Mark.
And her husband, James.
Keep going. You know what? You look really good with your foot stuck in your mouth like that.
Omar, after his assassination, called Charlie Kirk a reprehensible human being. Should be stripped of her committee assignments.
I would say, I think she's a disgraceful person. You know, I think she's a disgraceful person, a loser. It's amazing the way people, I know it's people from her area, maybe of the world. I don't know. They got here and they vote her in. It's hard to believe, but I think she's a disgusting person.
Our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. It's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as Americans. And the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
Another day, another lying headline about millions of dollars that apparently I have. Look at this document. You could see it says assets and unearned income. If you look at the asset for 1 million to 5 million, the income is 5 to 15,000. And if you look at the asset for 5 million to 25 million, it says none right there. Learn to read before you post misleading. Bye.
How about Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar? In February of this year, she shot down claims that she's actually a millionaire. My salary is $174,000 before taxes. I don't have stock or own a home, and I'm still paying off my student debt. So if you're going to lie on something that is public, maybe try checking my financial statements, and you will see I barely have thousands, let alone millions. Well, people have checked the public records now. Ilhan Omar apparently has a net worth upwards of $30 million, somewhere between $60 and $30 million. And get this, it's because of companies run and owned by her husband, who in 2023 had a net worth of $51,000. In 1 year, that $51,000 grew from $6 to $30 million. 3,500% growth in 1 year. What a good communist. It's always equality for you, elitism for those in power.
Standing outside of the anti-American Ilhan Omar's office. Tomorrow we will file a privileged motion to censure her and to strip her of her committee assignments. She is inciting violence against conservatives in the wake of Charlie Kirk's political assassination. I'm not going to be silent on this because enough is enough.
What happened? Shoot myself!
She's stuck like Chuck.
Taylor's lips, we could see, but everyone thought they were talking about Timothy Chalamet.
Well, that was our visit to Stupid Town today. I'm sure you may have gotten a little lesson there in how stupid some people really are. And with that, we're going to say, have a great rest of this Wednesday. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more commentary and a look-see at what's going on in and around the globe today. Bye-bye now. God bless you all.